Well, welcome to the third module in Chooboo's online marketing course. We're going to cover here is, well, first of all, how to go about building your website structure, how to communicate with designers by producing a design brief, and how to write content for your website. These are the three of the most difficult things that people face when they're trying to put their websites together. And then I'm going to provide a very brief introduction to the next module. So let's get started. Building your website structure. Well, for those of you who listened in on the first module, you'll understand that calls to action are exceptionally important. These are the things that you want your visitors to do following a visit to your website. May they be to pick up a phone, to send you an email, to fill out a contact form, to sign up for your e-zine, to refer a friend, to buy from you, whatever the case may be. Remember them very clearly and ensure that it takes no more than 3 clicks for a visitor to your website to get to those calls to action. That's called the 3-click rule. Try to commit the design or structure of your website to paper as a sitemap. What I'd like to do is to show you an example of how to go about that. I like to use Google Documents. It's very flexible and free service to do this with, and I'll show you how I go about it. Okay, so I'm going to create a blank drawing, and from this I'm going to produce a very simple sitemap. Okay, to do this, what I'm going to produce is draw a home page up at the top, and I'm going to call it home. Right, and from this there'll be a number of sections to my website. I'm going to use that as actually I'm going to actually go in here, I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it there. So this is another page. So most important page on the website, I think, well, may well be the contact us page. Obviously there's going to be a contact us page, so I'm going to include it. I'll make it a wee bit smaller. I don't need that much space. I'm going to copy that and paste it again. So the next page I want may be information about our portfolio of products and services. So the next one would be, let's say, some information about us. And then maybe I want to put a page in which is about maybe some case studies. One of the big barriers to small businesses getting off the ground is credibility. So it's important, if you're able to refer to case studies you've worked in on a previous employment that underline your own experience and your own credibility. It's always good to have that on a website. So those are the things, the sections I'd like on my website. Now I want to spend a few seconds now having to think about the sort of content I would tend to put on things like this. Now let's have a look. I'm going to, let's see, call out that, and I'm going to make it in a light color. So in the contact us form, I want obviously a form there. I want people to be able to see a map to my premises. I want them to sign up to a newsletter online. So I'll make that just a little bit smaller. Let's say 11 point, like so. I'll pull that down like that. Okay, so that's what I want to be on the contact form. I'm going to copy that and paste it. Now what would I want to see on the portfolio? Well, sort of information is obviously information about our products and enhancements. Clearly it's important to have a core number of products that you sell, and then some additional sales that you can provide off to existing clients. So our products and enhancements there would go in that section. In the About Us section, I want to get the whole area of experience underlined. Maybe I've got an awful lot of experience in a particular topic. I want to talk about my track record, and I want to get across the idea, I suppose, that I'm committed to serving the customer as best I can. In case studies, I will likely want to talk about, let's pick say a couple of case studies and include within those case studies testimonials. People love to hear about the good feeling that other clients have had about your product or service before they buy from you. So that would be a typical sitemap. Let's see if we could think of what would go up in the home page. So I'll drag that over to there. In here, probably want a short paragraph of text and reference to, say, a special offer. We know that clients have a very limited amount of time that they'll spend on your website, so you want to capture their attention straight away on the home page with some sort of special offer that they can take advantage of. So the way these pages are linked together, well, you have contact us, the portfolio, about us, and case studies, and that you'll find is a very simple sitemap that we've produced now. So once you've had to think about what the structure of your website should be, then it's important to think about how you want to get it designed. This piece of research by Microsoft conducted over 2 years ago showed that the majority of people are more likely to use a small business if their website's been designed by a professional. I think that's really important to have a professionally designed website. One of the things that you should watch out for, however, is to go to a web company and say something like this, which is, sure, you design me up something and I'll see if I like it. It's always best to go with a design company with some sort of idea of what you like and what you don't like. Here's some tips and tricks for producing a design brief. Well, at the top of the list, it's a statement which is form follows function. In other words, make sure the website performs the calls to action that you need it to do and then looks nice thereafter. It sounds like common sense, but a lot of people make this mistake where they produce what is a beautiful work of art as a website, but it doesn't actually perform a role. It doesn't help make the business money. The calls to action are very hard to find, and therefore it's all the wrong way around. Make sure the calls to action are clearly represented, and then the website looks nice. So, making the website look nice, well, be very wary of too much happening on the screen. Flash animation is a common problem where there's so much happening at once, it's really off-putting for the visitor and takes their eye away from the calls to action. In fact, we would recommend that you keep your website design as simple and as straightforward as possible and as easy on the eye as possible to the visitor. The culture for design of websites in Europe is to have a very straightforward, simple design with the use of white space to the maximum. It's important when you talk to a designer to have an idea in your head of the sites that you like and the sites that you don't like. That'll go a long way in helping the designer come up with something that makes sense. And prevention is better than solution. What I mean by this is that if you go with all of these different ideas in terms of a design brief, then it'll prevent a whole load of revisions further on down the line with the designer having to keep coming back to you every time, which can be frustrating at both sides. The next big topic is to write content for your website. This is a big issue for most clients. Well, the top bit of advice I think we can provide is to keep your content very concise and punchy. People don't have a lot of time to spend on your website. You need to capture their attention very, very quickly. For example, don't write an awful lot of text on your website. Where available, where possible, try to use downloads. For example, in terms and conditions, they're best represented as a downloadable PDF, let's say, rather than taking up space on your website. Use images. Images are fantastic because they brighten the website, but they're dangerous because you need to make sure that you have the right to use those images. In other words, you've got the copyright for those images. And secondly, that you have what's called optimized those images. In other words, the file size of the images you put on your website aren't absolutely massive, because if they are massive, they're going to take a very long time to be downloaded by your visitor, and they'll get frustrated and they'll browse away from your website very quickly indeed. When you're writing content and you've completed that process, try to get someone else to check that content. I suppose for simple things like spelling mistakes, but also to make sure it's compelling enough to try to drive the visitor to perform a call to action. Keywords, well, in our next module we talk specifically about keywords and search engines. But in putting together content for your website, it's important to have the right, what we call keywords in there. I'm not going to spend time talking about that right now. I recommend that you watch the next module to find out a bit more about that. So, the next module, well, it's all about trying to get ready for the search engines. It's not something we can cover in 5 to 10 minutes in these modules, but I will give you a taste for it as best I can. I'll explain how do they work, getting your keywords together, what you can do on your website to try to improve how you rank on search engines, and things that you can do outside your website, such as linking. Anyway, we look forward to seeing you in the next module. I hope you enjoyed this course so far.